Hello there. I have some profound informations to give you today. Give me all your attention, and in the next few minutes, I am very sure all of you will discover some profound secrets about the pains and sufferings of our life and their emotional and psychological roots deep inside our subconscious mind. Neuroscience has discovered wonderful facts about why people suffer from pain and how these pains can be alleviated. So, give me your attention. I will primarily discover three wonderful discoveries in the world of neuroscience. First, your body is your subconscious mind. We know there are two kinds of minds, right? Two aspects of mind, rather. Conscious mind and conscious mind. In a very simple way, I will help you to classify these two aspects of human mind. The conscious mind I call present mind. Whatever is happening in the present moment, whatever you are thinking right now, whatever you are perceiving right now, they're about your present mind. There is another mind which is your past mind. You can also call it record mind or library mind. They have stores of information of the past. Your past emotions, happy or sad, all are stored there in the subconscious mind. The first discovery that I want to share with you is your body, the human body, is your subconscious mind. Like all your emotional informations of the past is stored inside your body. Your body consists of numerous cells. The scientists say that there are about 100 trillion cells in our body. Poetically, some people use the metaphor. There are more number of cells in the human body than there are stars and planets in the universe. So you can think of human body constitute about 100 trillion cells. And each of these cells have receptors, and there are constant flow of neurochemicals among the cells. There are various neurochemicals, neuropeptides which have been discovered by the neuroscientists. There are neurochemicals for your happiness, there are neurochemicals for your anger, there are neurochemicals for your guilt, for your negative feelings. So many neurochemicals are traveling. Now, when you experience a deep pain or anger or fear or guilt or ego, whatever, there are neurochemicals discharged, neurochemicals released from your cells, and they tend to accumulate in a particular part of your body. When you are experiencing that, they get anchored in certain parts of your body. And those neurochemicals, once they get anchored, they stay there. They just don't get released. They stay there for a long time. And longer the time spent, more dense they become. Their density enhances. So they become rigid mass. And they transform into physical disorders like knee joints pain, like your stiff shoulders. All kinds of pains and diseases and ailments are due to the storage of emotions. So the first discovery is your human body itself is the storehouse of your emotions, and that's why your body in itself is referred as subconscious mind. Now, discovery number 2, and this is profound. The neuroscientists have found out that all your emotions, those are stored in your subconscious mind, that is inside your body, until the year of 7, the first 7 years of your life. Those storage, those blocked emotions are actually responsible for all the pains that we experience in the present moment. Strange, isn't it? Not beyond the first 7 years. There are various ways you can liquidate the emotions that accumulate after 7 years, because then you are grown up, then you process your thoughts, your ideas, you discover various ways to release those blocked emotions. But when we were young, until the age of 7, right from the time we were born inside the human womb, your mother's womb, the experiences of that time, when we were in the mother's womb, the experiences of our parents, of our mother especially, they get registered inside our body. And up to 7 years, everything is done. And rest of our life, we suffer the consequences of all those emotional stores. This is number 2. Very important. I will come to the solutions and the release and the healing of those pains based on these theories. 3 things I said. 2 I have covered, and the third thing. And the third thing is, various kinds of emotions are there, but neuroscientists have zeroed down to 3 strongest emotions, who are the mother emotions. From there, all other emotions are born. So we need to focus on these 3 prime emotions. Just like colors, we have so many colors in the world, but primarily there are 4 colors. All other colors are permutation and combination of the 4 colors, mixing of the 4 colors. Likewise, various emotions that we experience basically come from the 3 major emotions, and this is referred by the by the neuroscientist as FAG, the 3-letter word FAG, F-A-G. These 3 emotions are fear, anger, and grief. Fear, anger, and grief. These are the 3 major emotions. Now, in the first 7 years, all the fear, all the anger, all the grief that we experience get registered deep inside our body, in different parts of our body, and they stay there. Over a long time, they get very rigid, very dense, and they transform into physiological disorders like degeneration of the bones in the knees. All these are caused because of accumulation of those 3 prime emotions in the first 7 years of our life. Now, this is profound, isn't it? Now, what happens is, let's say we are experiencing a pain right now. That pain is not important. Experience the pain, fully focus on the pain, and focus on your feelings. What is the outcome of that pain? How you are feeling that pain? Now, many of the feelings cannot be written in words, but you just hold it in your heart for a moment and then go down to your memory lane and try to introspect whatever you remember. You cannot remember the episodes your parents had experienced when you were in the womb, all right? Maybe your mother went through a major trauma. There was a great disaster, and that had affected her emotions, and those emotions also percolated in your life and they got registered. I will share few examples from my life so that you understand that very clearly. First example is, when I was very young, let's say about 4 years, we used to stay in a small town in West Bengal where my father used to work. And at that time, one night, I woke up crying boisterously. And what I saw is someone is using a hammer and beating my parents in their head. And it was so painful, it was so disturbing that I woke up from my sleep and started crying and shouting. Mind you, that is the first dream that I experienced in my life. And I had no discrimination between waking life and dream life, so that was a reality. And when I woke up, my parents also woke up because I was crying and shouting. And I heard my parents saying that this guy experienced a dream. I didn't know what is a dream. I saw that my parents were in a railway station and some guy who was who was a ticket collector with his black coat, you know, instead of that punch, he had a hammer, and my parents were passing through the gate and he was using the hammer and he hit my parents in the head. And my mother was carrying my sister who was just born, about 3.5 years younger to me, and he was about to hit my sister with the same hammer. And that's the time when I woke up in fear and I started crying and shouting. It was a mixed experience of fear and pain, grief and pain. Until today, I'm 70 years of my age and I haven't forgotten that experience, that experience, that grief, that pain. Another experience. You know, we used to stay in West Bengal, but our hometown was in Delhi. So in every puja vacation, we used to go to our grandparents, and my two elder brothers used to stay there under the care of our grandparents. Me and my sister was with my own parents. So one day when the puja festival was over, one evening my two elder brothers took me out for a stroll. And we used to stay in a place called Karol Bagh. Delhiites would know it. And we were walking through the dingy place, and that place is known as Regarpura. It's a slum area. And as I was passing through the hilly track, there was a little hilly track, if you remember, at the back of Karol Bagh, those of you who were in Delhi. At a distance, I saw flames coming up. There were a lot of smoke and a lot of smell coming in the air, in the flowing air. I asked my elder brother, what is happening there? What are those flames all about? He said, that's a Samshan Ghat. Samshan Ghat in English is called cremation ground. And people, when they die, they're burnt. They're physically burnt away, and their ashes remain. So there are so many dead bodies which are being burnt in the cremation ground. I said, my God, they're burning their body. It must be very painful. Both my brothers started laughing because they were much elder. They said, no, they're dead. There is no feeling. After you die, there is no feeling, so the bodies are burnt away. It happens to everyone. I got shocked and I held my elder brother's hand strongly. He said, what are you saying? That means my parents will also be burned away when they die. Of course, he said. Not only your parents, I'll be burnt away, your elder brother, you, everyone will be burnt away. Now this burning things was a burning sensation. Really burning. I almost felt the burning pain on my skin. And it was such a miserable experience. And I kept on experiencing sleepless nights. I couldn't reconcile with this information. I couldn't consume it. So it stayed with my personality for a long time. Now just be a little wise. So that experience, and still in my memory, if it is in my memory, and that deep emotion stored in certain part of my body, can manifest as jalan, as burning sensation, as painful sensations, as fearful sensations. All these emotions are manifested in the form of physical disorder. Even cancer. And whenever a big disease happens, the major thing that we experience is not the pain but the fear. What is the root of the fear? Your childhood experience. Right? So those emotions are stored inside your body in the first 7 years of our life. So 3 things we discussed. First, your body is the subconscious mind. Great. Number 2, all emotions that are stored from the first 7 years of our life is all about the cause of your present moment sufferings in the forms of pains and diseases. And the third is there are three major emotions which give rise to all emotions: fear, anger, and grief. So, next time you or anyone is very closely known to you, you have a pain, or you see someone very close who is having a disease or an ailment, ask them, the person, to just relax, give them some cool breathing calmness, and ask them coolly what are they feeling. It's not about the pain or the disease. What are their feelings? And then slowly take them to their past and connect them, if they can remember any episode of their life which is similar to that kind of feeling. And once this connection is established, a beautiful thing happens. The moment you are connected, you will get activated. Some people will cry when we give them this breathing treatment. We do it in the experiential human labs. We have a lot of retreats in the hills. So a lot of people who experience this, we help them to connect themselves with their past experiences, and people cry out loud, and we allow them to cry. More they cry, more those stored emotions get released. So, more than the medicines and the medicaments, it is a psychological healing process through which we can help them liberate their stored emotion, which is the root of all pains and sufferings. I end here, and I'm sure this presentation will inspire you and will create a lot of interest, and you will be much ahead of others in dealing with your present day pains and sufferings. Wish you all the best. Thank you very much.